Welcome, everybody, to the 2025 Gen X Direct Sales Professionals Sales Success Handbook, or what it could also be called is the Survival Handbook, because a lot of change in our industry right now, and only the agile and the flexible will survive. And certainly in the next in 2025, in the next 12 months, survival and the difference between thriving and surviving is going to be down to a change in attitude towards selling. So you'll have all seen the image that I created, the 1980s called "They Want Their Sales Pitch Back," and that summarizes perfectly where we are in the home improvement industry today. Because still, in 2024, the vast majority of selling is done the way it was pre to year 2K. Okay, it's done the way it was in the 20th century, or the 1900s, as I call them. Okay, now for those of you like me who are products of the 20th century, who are now Gen Xers, okay, Gen X, born in the 60s, 70s, brought up in the 80s, 90s, got into direct selling in the 90s and 2000s, built our career. Today are 40 plus, 50, 40 to 60. That's you. If that's you guys, you're just like me. We were we were brought into this industry, and we discovered this industry, direct selling, in-home selling typically, but direct selling is how I prefer to call it. Direct selling, B2C selling, which was traditionally home improvements. But we were brought into this. We discovered this industry in the 1900s, and we discovered that it was a great way to make great money, and that you didn't need a bunch of um, qualifications, or a grammar school education, a level education, a university degree education to perform well and to carve out a great lifestyle for yourself, a great income, and a great future. And we were the first generation to move away from the traditional trades and move and discover direct selling. So for those of us that got into direct selling in the 1900s and discovered it and the benefits, and that it was open to everybody, we used to have the right attitude, the right values, the right approach, the right ethics, and be willing to learn and be willing to work hard. Okay, that was all that was required. And at the same time, coupled with direct selling being a phenomenon of the 20th century, also the personal development movement was another phenomenon that was so closely aligned to direct selling that the two became almost indistinguishable from each other in many ways. If you were in direct selling, we were trained and we were coached and mentored around positive attitude and around having enthusiasm and passion. And the personal development movement really dovetailed into everything we wanted to achieve. So it became an industry of honor, became an industry of great goal setting, great achievements, of celebration, of all things that were possible. It was about the study and achievement of success and maximizing your personal potential. So that personal development culture and direct sales became hand in hand. And if, like me, you grew up on that culture and one fed the other, you were able to be superbly successful. And at the same time, growing up in that era, we were selling to our parents' generation. Okay, so as Gen Xers, we were selling to our parents' generation. They had the wealth, they had old school values. They were baby boomers born around the war, shortly after the war. And as consumerism took over and buying your own house and furnishing your own house became the goal, and ultimately, having ultimately the dream was foreign holidays. And so we were the first era of children, first generation of children to have a taste of that, where our parents were aspiring to that, the post-war kids. That was our parents, but they still had old school values. And we got used to, we were we were brought into the industry and learned how to sell to them. We were selling to their generation, and they would respect strangers coming into their homes or salespeople coming into their homes. They'd respect us because we were a visitor. So, the telly would get turned off for us. Yeah, the kettle would go on. There'd be sometimes even food, cake, sandwiches, whatever prepared. Okay. Sometimes they'd even have the checkbook on the mantelpiece. Right. They'd see us together. Both homeowners would see us together as the norm. They'd take the evening, and it mainly was evenings then, and they'd make decisions fairly fast. They'd make decisions there and then, and they'd be up for a deal. They'd like a deal. They'd like a bit of a negotiation. They'd like an offer. They'd like to feel that they got a bargain. So we became experts at selling in that environment with all those dynamics, and we became experts at it. And that was how direct sales became the great industry, for me, great industry of the 20th century. And now, as we look back, if you're nodding there as I'm just going through all this, you internally you're saying yes, yes, yes. Just drop a yes in the comments, guys. Okay. Got a few yeses coming through there. Hell yes. Okay, that's how it was. Now we go forward from then. We go to today, 2024, 30 years later. How things are changing. Okay, now because I call myself the Gen X direct sales coach with the 10x ROI guarantee. Today, I'm based here in Bali, and I provide direct sales coaching to our generation in the UK and the US, both to direct salespeople and to owners of direct sales companies who have sales forces in our age group, and with the challenges that we've got now. And I provide coaching to sales teams on behalf of their business owners and to individuals. I do that day to day here from Bali, live on video, pay as you go, on demand, no contracts, pay as you go. And with my Gen X direct sales masters group as well, which I'll cover a little later, which is there for you to join with a 30-day free trial. Anyway, that's me. So the challenges we've got today is that the industry has changed massively. Let's just look at what we're faced with today versus what I just described. What we're faced with today, more and more now, is leads that come in. Because the old model was we used to get all our leads through going out, through outreach, right? Telephone, knocking on doors, leaflet distribution, cold direct mail. A little bit of advertising, TV, press, and radio, and all that kind of stuff came in the latter part of the decade of the century. But primarily, it was interruption marketing that we call it these days. It was telesales, cold telesales, knocking on doors, canvassing, direct mail, leaflet dropping, in stores. It was putting ourselves in front of the customers. With the onset of the internet, 30 years later, after a complete revolution, the biggest revolution in the history of civilization, we've now got the bulk of our leads coming to us inbound from online sources. So through websites, through social media, and other ways we've got people's attention and directed them online to come to us, to make appointments and come to us. That's the bulk of our leads, and that's growing. Less and less of our leads, if any, are interruption marketing, outbound, like it used to be. So much more is inbound. And therefore, we've got a complete change of culture. What has also happened at the same time, obviously, is the old generation that we grew up selling to, our parents' generation, they're now passing away. They're in their 70s and 80s. Okay, they're not buying home improvements or buying luxury items anymore. Okay, that generation is passing on, and what we've now got is we've got our own generation, 50 to 70, that are still here, but the generation now that own all the wealth that right now 60 to 70% of the wealth, 60 to 70% of the homeowners is the millennials, our children, who are now around 30 years old on average, right? They're buying the houses. They've got the incomes. They've got the wealth. They have the power, and they buy in a very different way. They buy in a very considered way. They do their research first online. They look at different providers. They look at all our social proof. They learn about our products. They learn about our services. They learn about price. They go in forums and online consumer groups. They learn about sales techniques, marketing and selling practices, offers, about value, about what's available out there. They come to us at the point where they're so much more educated than ever before. Back in the day, we had the power. The salesperson had the knowledge and therefore had the power. The customers relied on that, were inspired by that. It inferred authority and therefore it helped our persuasiveness. Today, the shift has gone completely the other way, and the buyers, today's homeowners, today's younger generation homeowners, they have the power. They have all the information. They come to us with most of the information. And what they look for is something different. They look for trust. They look for authenticity. They look for connection. They look for somebody to work with them, advise them through the process, work to their process, to their criteria, satisfy their motives, work with them. And if they smell any sales techniques that used to work back in the day, right, like saving the price till the end and then discounting to try and create the illusion of a bargain, they smell any of that, they'll ghost you. Now, they might play along with it because they don't like conflict. Okay, but they will get rid of you and ghost you. They will not talk to you. You won't know why. You'll just be out of the picture. Okay, another flip back. Today is going to be a real flip between the two centuries. You know, we're going to be continually flipping back and forth to show the contrast of how things have changed and why we need to change. And another thing that used to be the way it was done, all right, and the only way it could work, but in the past, which won't work today, is it was all about us as the salesperson, arriving with maximum energy and enthusiasm and taking charge of the situation and being the center and being persuasive, overtly persuasive. That used to work. We could get away with it. We had the knowledge, we had the power, we were the authority. Today, that's completely changed for all the reasons I've covered so far. Also, today's buyers, they live in a different situation. They live in a completely different world. Online is huge for them, and they're either working. They both work. Whereas in the 20th century, there was often one main breadwinner and a house person. Typical was man and wife. Okay, that's changed completely. You've got both people working, both people commanding good incomes, and often they'll be working remote. So they'll both be at home, but you might not get them both together because they're both working and they're busy. So he might be there or she might be there, but the other one's working upstairs or in an office and you won't see them. And you won't be able to make it happen that you see them because that's how they want it. They don't need you as much to make their decisions as they did before. They have the power. You're a consultant to help them. You're an assistant buyer with the buyer today. You're not the center of attention, though. You're there to assist and facilitate the buy. You're not there to close the sale like we used to. You're there to facilitate the buy. You're there to help them buy, not to make them buy. There's a big difference. It used to be we had to make them buy. Today, we help them buy. Okay, so you're going to see lots of more, as we used to call them, single sits. I've often heard them called one-leggers, right? But that's simply a sole decision maker today. That's what we call them today. They're a sole decision maker. It might be both partners in a relationship, man, woman, 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 man, man, whoever today, completely different. But we don't pry as to who's who and why there's only one there. That's not our business. We don't even show disappointment today that there's only one there and not two, because that says to them, that sends a message. they're not good enough for us and their process isn't good enough for us, and you lose them instantly. So today you've got to respect the fact that you may be dealing with one party, both parties. It's irrelevant. We're there to help them buy, to dovetail our approach into their process. And I'm going to talk about how we do that later. But if we fight that, and you try and fight for all your leads must be both parties together, like they were back in the 20th century, you will fail. You'll blow out all your leads. Okay. Now there's still a generation of 50 to 70, our own generation, Gen Xers, like us, who are still there. And they're coming to us less and less through the online mechanisms. Okay. But they're still there. And the old marketing styles still will work with them. And we'll come back and we'll cover that a little later. But the bulk of the message today is how to sell to the growing market of younger buyers, millennials, and what will in the next decade be Gen Z as well. We're currently struggling to get onto the housing ladder, but that will change. Okay. Now, let's talk about the younger generation. Let's get back to that. So this is about adjusting our approach from closing the sale to inspiring the buy, from being the center of attention to making them the center of attention, from being the authority with all the knowledge to helping the people with the authority and the knowledge to make the right decision. Okay, that's what today's about. That's why I called it the Gen X Home Improvement Direct Sales Professionals Handbook for Sales Success in 2025. The 1980s called They Want Their Sales Pitch Back. They do. Let's flip back and forth now between the old sales pitch and today's framework for helping them to buy. The buyer's framework, right? So instead of the old selling circle or sales pitch, we're going to talk about the 21st century buying framework, right? That's what we're going to call this, the framework that's to help them buy. So let's go. I'm introduce you 12 skills, okay? 12 skills that are going to help you not only survive but thrive in 2025. Okay, that's a right. Didn't mean that, but there you go. Now, I've been working with this process over the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years. I've been working 10 years since I left my home improvement direct sales career in the UK, where I finished up sales director of a national home improvement brand business with 500 salespeople working for me and over 100 million in our final year. And then left to become a sales coach, followed my lifelong dream, started my own sales coaching business for the last 10 years, working with home improvement salespeople, helping them to grow their business and change the sales process and evolve it to today. And I now live in Bali, where I do that daily. And I love what I do. And I'm working with, as I say, individual salespeople and sales teams and companies, and helping them navigate from the old to the new, and helping them convert their leads at 1 in 2, which with this approach, with the 21st century selling direct sales coaching approach that I teach, you can sell your leads at 1 in 2. With all the challenges I've just outlined, you can sell your leads at 1 in 2. The average in the industry right now is 1 in 4. Use these skills, they will double your sales. Let's get on. Okay, so let's now talk about the pre-sale first, how it used to be. You get a lead through, you'd phone the lead to qualify it. Hi, it's Paul from whatever company. Great, got your inquiry through, you're interested in, let's just call it windows and doors. Let's say it's windows, okay? Could be anything, could be kitchens, could be bathrooms, could be conservatories, could be solar, could be any number of things, but let's just assume it's windows, okay? Got your lead through, you're interested in some windows and doors, great, okay. What is it you'd like? A quote. Okay, all right. And how soon are you looking to do this? Okay, so you're serious. All right. Now you're both going to be there, aren't you? Yeah. Probably need about 2 to 3 hours together to run through everything, tell you about our offers. Yeah. Okay. How did you hear of us? Right. No problem at all. Okay. That's great. Yeah. And we'd be like, that's enough now. That sounds like a good lead. Okay, great. Look forward to seeing you. Okay. That used to work. Won't work today. Why? Because they hear you start qualifying them. Immediately, they know you're a predator. They don't need you to check on the readiness to buy, and they know it. And when you start asking qualifying questions, they'll spot it a mile off and it'll blow it. Or they might act interested and play along because they just want to get the information from you that's missing and your price, right? But you've already lost. So what's the purpose of that? If you do call, if you even do, there's an advantage in calling, because one of the things that does exist is there will be anxiety. Okay, they've not met you. You're a stranger going out to their house. They don't have people visiting their house willy-nilly like it used to happen in the old days. Neighbors popping in, you can leave the doors open, anyone can walk in and out. It's a different world, right? So having visitors is more an appointment, is more of a, it's an arrangement. It's more formal. It needs planning. Okay. So when they generate a lead and make an appointment, there's some anxiety. Who's this person coming? Are they a predator? Are they on my side? So their guard goes up. So if you're going to do an introduction call, the purpose of that call is to bring the guard down. That's the sole purpose of that call, is to get them to feel safe, is to begin the process of getting them to trust you. So the purpose of that call is simple, to get them to bring their guard down. So it would be something like this. Hi there, Mr. and Mrs. My name's Paul, surname from company. Just a quick courtesy call to let you know, it'll be me, name again, full name, that'll be coming along to see you today. You've requested we call out to give you a quotation, some prices for future reference. Yeah. And I'll be carrying my ID, company ID. So I have that with me. You'll know it's me. And I'm leaving from wherever you're coming from. Yeah. So that and I'm leaving plenty of time. Traffic's good, so I should be with you bang on time. And I look forward to meeting you both. That's it. So they think, what a nice touch. What a nice person. No selling. They don't detect any predatory behavior. Their guard comes down. They now feel safe with you. They already feel as if they know you. They feel a little bit more open and relaxed. The fear has gone. That's the purpose of that call. If even the call is necessary, but if one is, that's the purpose. Let's move to second. Number two. Number two is this. Now, we used to constantly talk about before the appointment. You need to get yourself fired up, right? Okay, this is how it used to be. As I talked about, the personal development along with the direct sales was an explosive combination. And we'd get ourselves fired up, listen to your state music, the music that changed your state, listen to your fight songs on the way, right? Get yourself fired up, think about all the successes you've had, get yourself in a great fighting state, all right? Predict success, rehearse everything going perfectly well, and get yourself completely fired up that you're going to sell, you're going to sell, you're going to sell. And, then the door would open and you'd be on the doorstep and they'd be met with this highly charged, motivated, passionate, enthusiastic person, right? Today, that's not going to work. That's going to scare the life out of them. That's not the energy you need today. They're going to think you've taken something if you arrive like that today, right? That's not going to work for you. Okay. Today, the smart approach, it is a complete tone down from that. Okay. A total tone down. Today, be smart. Create gratitude. Immediately, you need to do some rehearsal for half an hour before. This is not a workout, right? Emotions Zig Ziglar said this over 100 years ago. Sales is a transfer of emotion. How true he was. Sales is a transfer of emotion, which means that you're constantly transferring the emotions you're feeling to your buyers, and it's automatic. Neuroscience has proved this. It's automatic, based on mirror neurons. Our brain mirrors the emotions of those people that we're in close proximity with. We feel their energy. We suss out their emotions. We know their intent. We know what we shouldn't know. That's the mirror neurons. We call it intuition, but it's mirror neurons. It's neuroscience. So we sell our state. The first thing we sell is our state. The first thing we sell is the emotions we're feeling. Emotions last 90 seconds in the body. So immediately before you meet them, last minute before you meet them, create the emotion you want to transfer to them, because it will transfer automatically. You don't need to think about it. It will just happen between you. The neuroscience that's proven will take care of that for you. So you want them to feel anxiety, to fear fight or flight, arrive feeling anxious, nervous, fearful, right? Or you can arrive feeling arrogance, lax, don't care, apathy. They'll get the same. Or you can arrive feeling gratitude. How would you feel if they'd already said yes and were already decided to buy from you, and you just needed to go in and complete the paperwork, take the deposit, arrange the payments, arrange the installation dates, get everything organized? How would you feel if that was the purpose of the call? They'd said yes to you and now you were going ahead. You'd feel amazingly gratitude and warmth and a sense of camaraderie, a sense of connection. Generate that. Generate that gratitude the last thing before you meet them. That's the smart thing to do, not some overwhelming, hyped up, over passionate, enthusiastic, charged up energy. That's not going to sell. Create a calm, alert state of relaxed gratitude. Yeah, that's what you need to create. That will transfer. That will make them feel good about you in a very subtle way. They'll get a sample of that. They'll feel calm. They'll feel a slight sense of openness, a slight sense of gratitude as well, and they won't know why, but they won't feel flight or fight. They'll feel calm, grateful that you're there, open. That's what you want to create. So that's your pre-call. Okay, that's the two comparative approaches, right, between the old school and today. Pre-call. That's done. Now let's get into the 12 skills of getting them to buy from you between how it used to be and today. All right. So number one, first thing we used to do back in the day was build rapport by finding common ground, choosing something that would get a conversation going. Right, something about maybe even the weather or current affairs or something we saw in their house. Maybe they're both Def Leppard fans, or they took the kids on holiday to Florida. We went there to Disney World recently, or whatever. Could be anything. Religion, politics, although that's less safe. If you saw common ground, you could pick up on something there, right? Or you play the guitar. Oh, our children go to the same school. Oh, whatever it is, you pick up on that, and that used to work. Today it won't. Why? They know it's bullshit. They're not interested in being your friend. You're not interested in them being your friend. You're there to talk about their windows. They want information on their windows. Now, they also, and they don't realize that if they do feel a subconscious rapport with you, it's going to help them buy. But they don't want some manufactured conversation about holidays or children or whatever. They might play along with you just out of politeness, but they're not interested. And you're wasting valuable time. And time is everything to these people. Back in the day, we used to have all the time in the world. Now they haven't. So don't waste time with false bullshit rapport building techniques. The way to build rapport today is to mirror their energy. Okay, now those clients that work with me get to take this a full step further and get to understand personality profiles. Okay, give them specific training and coaching in understanding personality profiles and personality types, and they learn to sell to personality profiles. But for the purposes of today, let's just go with the very basic version, which is you mirror their energy. What's their energy? How much are they interacting with you? Yeah. What's their body language like? How do they hold themselves? How are they speaking? How loud are they speaking? How fast are they speaking? Right? So it's the external energy that they're carrying in how they're communicating with you. Start by mirroring that. Instead of forcing your personality on them based on the old belief people buy from people they like, no. People today, people buy from people like them. So become like them. Subtly start to mirror their energy, their communication style, the tonality of their frequency, the speed of their speech. Mirror it. Become more like them subtly, and they will start to feel understood. They'll start to feel this girl's like me. I feel comfortable with because what you want them to feel and start to think for themselves is, I'd be comfortable buying off this person. That's what you want to set the scene for. I'd be comfortable buying off this person. I feel comfortable buying from this person. They're like me. Okay. That's step number one. Mirroring and matching personality style. Number two, it's about what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen during this appointment? Now, the old style was we'd go in and we'd set the agenda. We'd tell them everything that's going to happen during the appointment. This is what I want to do for you. We take them through their 10 steps we were going to cover, right? And I'd be like, oh, that's great, fantastic. That's not going to work today. They don't want the standard presentation everybody gets. They don't even want to feel like it's a presentation. They don't even need all the same information, right? So they don't want that epic movie length, Godfather length sales presentation. They don't want it, right? So what we should be doing today is we still need an agenda. We need to create a collaborative agenda. So we need to find out their motives. What got you thinking about the idea of replacing the windows at some stage this year or next year? Okay. And what motivated you to invite your company out to quote for the work? Great. Okay. Now, what do you most want to accomplish in our time together today? What's the most important thing, the important takeaway that you both want to get from this time we've got together? And what questions have you got? Start writing. And what would you like to see? What would you like me to show? What questions have you got you'd like me to answer? You've probably done some research so far. What research have you done so far? I want to make sure I don't duplicate what you've already got. Talk me through your research and where we fit into that research. And talk me through your process, how many companies you're getting in, where we are in that process, what your decision making process looks like, how you want us to fall into that process to help you, what's the criteria you're going to use to make the decision, what's most important to you, and what do you need from me to help you with that process. Discover the process, fall into their process. Let them know you're not discovering their process to try and sell them. You're discovering their process to try and help them make the right decisions about when they buy, what they buy, who they buy from, how much they buy, how they buy. Agree that all with them. And then you say, right, based on what you've told me, I suggest what we have is a little game plan that we do this, and then you agree a game plan which satisfies all of those objectives in the time and those goals in the time you've got available. You say, how long have you set aside for us to achieve those goals today? Great, fantastic. Let's do all of that. And the final piece of this is you close at the start, not at the end. What? Close at the start? The old style was you keep the price hidden and you wait till the end and you reveal the price, false discounts to try and get the order, and then you close at the end. You get all the objections, overcome them all, and close again. That was the old style. Used to work, not today. Close at the start. Right? Now, that's what we'll do. So does that sound like a good little agenda or game plan for us to this evening or this afternoon, this morning? Yeah, it sounds great. Okay. Should take about 2 hours to go through all of that. Is that okay with you both? We got all that time together. Is that okay with you if it's one of them? That's great. You give exactly the same attitude, exactly the same energy, exactly the same service, whether there's one or two. Okay? That's great. Now, if at any time you feel that this is not for you, or we're not the right fit for each other, or we're not the right choice for you, or we don't satisfy your criteria 100%. If at any time you've got any doubts or the price is not right, whatever reason, you feel it's not for you, have you got any problem saying no to me? No, no problem saying no to you. Great, because a no is as good as a yes. I don't mind. I'm not here for that. I don't care about whether you buy from me or not. I'm here to help you. If we and equally if we can't help you, or I've got any doubts about whether we can help you or whether we can give you everything you want, if I've got any doubts on that, I will tell you straight we can't help. Is that okay? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, great. Now, if we don't say no to each other, does it make sense for us to agree a definite next step? Yeah, it does. Makes sense. Great. We'll talk about the options later. Once we've completed the agenda, we'll talk about all the options as to what the right next step is for you, and then we'll plan that together. Does that make sense? That sounds like a good plan. Yes, that's your next step. That's it. Done. You've agreed a collaborative agenda. They now feel seen, heard, empathically understood. They feel in control. They feel in their power, and they're starting to trust you. That's what needs to have been established. You've established a process that you need to work with, their criteria for buying, their motives, what they want to achieve, everything. It's done. And you've agreed a game plan for that and a time scale, and you know what you've got to do. And then you've agreed that you're going to talk about the next steps at the end. You've also agreed that if it's not a definite next step that we're booking, it's going to be a no. And they'll tell you no, and they're safe to say no to you. And that's the number one thing you want to achieve there is that they're safe saying no. When they feel safe saying no to you, they don't feel that they've got to sell you a think about it. That's your number one thing you want to achieve right at the start. That they get safe saying no to you. Then they won't feel necessary selling you a think about it. If you're straight yes or a straight no. And think about it. Right now, most customers at the end when they don't buy tell you polite lies just to get rid of you and try and keep their options open. Imagine if everybody told you the truth, yes or no. We're either going to no, thank you, part as friends, always leave our door open to each other for the future, or a yes, plan the next step. Imagine if every single lead you went on was that. No more polite lies, stalls, and alibis. That's how to do it. Okay, number 3. All right, how are we doing so far? By the way, let's just drop your comments in the chat. Just put a yes if you're enjoying this so far, and if you're getting some value out of this so far, guys. Okay, terrific. Right, next. Old days. Next thing we'd do in the old days was we'd either go straight into the window or we'd start measuring. Yeah, we'd start measuring. That's what we'd do. We'd start measuring with them, and we start just finding out the problems as we were measuring, going around and selling in ideas about what they wanted, and generally finding out what the general problems that they wanted rid of and what goals they wanted to achieve. And we come away with a design, right? With designs, and we want to be selling them the results and selling them the dream, because after that we want to show the window. Completely different today. Today you work with something called a pain to pleasure discovery. P2P, pay to pleasure. The first thing you need to do today is surface the pain they're having with their existing alternative to your solution, their existing windows in this case. You want to find out what problems they're having that they regret not solving 6 months from now. What are the problems with each window, window by window? What are the problems you're having with this window that you regret not solving 6 months from now? What are the problems you're having with this window that's prompted you to reach out for some help, to want to get this sorted? How does that affect you? How long has that been a problem? How did it start? Tell me how it started. What happens if you do nothing? What's motivating you to want to do this now? And you work with a process I call the persuade process, which gets all the pain out and moves them from pain to pleasure in one go. Persuade. What's the problem? P. E. What's the effect of the problem? How's it affecting you? What's the impact? R. What's the root cause of the problem? What caused it? S. What's the story of the problem so far? What are the things you've tried to do to solve the problem? How's that worked? How much does it cost you? How much time have you put in? How do you feel about all that? The U is the urgency. Why do you want to solve this now? How is solving this now going to help you? What's the value of solving this now? How does it feel if you do nothing? Why is doing nothing not an option for you? Yeah, urgency. Then move to A, aspirations. What do you want instead of the problem? You want to solve this problem. What do you want instead? Drivers is the D. And what's making you want that? Why do you want that instead? Why is that important to you? And then the E, evaluation. What's the value of solving this problem and getting your dream windows that you've just described to me? What's the value of that to you versus doing nothing and staying as you are? There's the persuade model. For those of you that are in the Inception Sales Club, you'll get to master that. those of you that work with me and get to master that makes so much of a difference. Okay, and that's a 21st century spin on the old spin selling model. Okay, today it's persuade is what I've built as my um, uh, uh, methodology today for questioning, getting pain to pleasure. So what you're doing is you're creating a gap, a psychological gap between where they are and where they want to be. And that gap needs to be crystal clear. And the bigger that gap between where they are and where they want to be, the bigger that psychological gap, the more the stress. The bigger that psychological gap, the bigger that psychological stress, the bigger the desire to solve the problem and to solve it fast. So the greater the desire to fix it, the greater the value in going from where they are to where they want to be. And the urgency is there coming from them. And the value of solving it becomes greater. And that pain to pleasure discovery, and you do it on every single window. You get them talking through the pain to the goals on every window, one by one. You get them talking about their pain, not you. And when they talk about their pain, they realize how much they've minimized the problems they're living with each day and how much they tolerate them and how much they tune out the pain. And it triggers epiphanies. Enough's enough. We've been putting up with this long enough. We've got to get this done now. The urgency comes from them by talking about their pain. Don't start selling dreams before you've established the pain that needs solving. Okay, again, neuroscience, we cannot make decisions for something better unless we've solved the problems that are keeping us where we are. Go for pain first, then pleasure. That's step 3, pain to pleasure discovery using the persuade model. All right, that's step 3 between the old and the new. The next one, step 4, okay, is a further enhancement of the before and after, but this is a visual enhancement of the before and after. Okay, so what we used to do back in the day is, we design with them on a piece of paper, on a piece of A4 paper, or a proper, if we had it, a professional pad that was printed out, and we'd have a space for designing, and we'd draw the window as it was, and then we'd design in the window that they want, and we'd often draw. Okay, today we have technology. So you guys need the technology that not only prepares it professionally, but does before and after. So you need to invest in the technology, which you can do. There are many providers out there. I can give you the names if you want them. Just let me know. You need to photograph the property from the outside, get the windows on your laptop or your iPad as they are now, and design next to them the after. And you build up designs with them so they can see the before, the window as it is now, with all the problems they want, with all the design issues, looking unsatisfactory, looking as it does now, which doesn't please them in any way. And then right next to it, you've got the after, which is what you're going to build, which is the window design that they want, with all the colors, the designs, the features, the furniture, everything that you want, that they want on that window, designed with them. And you do that on a window by window basis. You design before and after with them. It's the contrast that sells. Contrast is so powerful when it comes to neuroscience, before and after. We've done it verbally with the pain to pleasure discovery in the previous step. But in this step, it's visual. 60% of your buyers are visual learners. We buy with our eyes. Okay? And before and after is the visualization now. It's the visual representation of where they are versus where they want to be. And that visual representation of before and after is so powerful. Now, you've got on your iPad or your laptop as well, you need other customers before and after photographs, so you can show them installations of other homes like theirs for other people like them that have the same problems as they do, that have the same goals that they've got, and show them other people's before and afters, and show the huge contrast of pain versus pleasure visually on actual homes. And they'll love it. People love social proof again. People love to see what other people have got. That's what I want. Just like that one. Just like that. That's what I want. That's what you want them to get them saying. Show them the actual, not just theirs. So you show them theirs before and after. We show them others. And you go around window by window and you agree with them the exact dream perfect design for that window that they want, before and after. So crucial. So you do it first with the pain to pleasure discovery, and then you do it secondly with the before and after visualization, and before and after of other customers' properties. Right? Huge for desire building. Okay, that's number 4. Number 5. Now, this is the biggest one yet, right? Back in the day, the way we used to sell was we would keep the price secret, unhidden, until the end. Now, the smarter salespeople used to do some price conditioning. So we'd start slowly and very subtly educating the customers on what it might likely be, the price. But that was a subtle approach, okay, whilst keeping the price hidden. The price would be revealed at the end, and it was always an inflated price to give as much discount as possible, to allow for as much discount as possible to be built in order to then create the illusion of a bargain. That was how it was done. That's not going to work today, right? It's not going to work. It isn't working, is it? No, it's not. That's because that technique, that 20th century psychology, has been exposed across the online world everywhere. Everybody knows about it. So if you have customers that play along with it, that don't throw you out and ghost you when you try that, they're playing along with it. And if they bought and how are you doing that, they're buying despite you. You don't need to. It's totally unnecessary. They don't believe it. They know it's bullshit. Okay. And by the way, if you're still hiding prices until the end and then giving inflated prices and discounts to try and get the deal, you're the only provider of any product anywhere that's doing that in the world right now. Nobody else is. You're on your own. There is nowhere else where people find out the price last. And the price they discover at the end is inflated, and they have to work to get the best price. And they only get the best price if they buy that second, because it goes up immediately. That does not exist anywhere else in the world on any products. Think about it. Houses, you find out the price first. Cars, you find out the price first. Property, you find out the price first. Businesses you're going to buy, you find out the price first. Luxury items, furnishings, you find out the price first. Luxury apparel, clothing, jewelry, you find out the price first. Luxury holidays, you find out the price first. Everything down to a pint of milk, you find out the price first. That you then decide if you're interested. Can I afford it? Okay, I could afford it. Now, do I want to afford it? Then you find out everything that's included. If you're hiding prices till the end, you're on your own. You're the only company that isn't. You're the only providers that aren't, and it's frustrating the hell out of your buyers, and it's costing you sales every single day. And that's the reason you're not converting at 1 in 2. What's the alternative? Show them the price as early as you know. So as you're designing the windows, turn on the pricing on your software, which is available. And if you need, as I said, if you need the information on where to get this, tell me. Turn on the pricing on your software so that when you're designing the dream design for each window, in the corner, the visual big enough for everybody to see on the iPad or the laptop, so they can see it increasing as you change designs, decreasing as you remove items and add and remove options to see the price increasing and decreasing. So it's real, the real price. Have it visual so they can see. And when if they respond or don't respond, I would always respond. I would always call it out, because it's always going to be more than they think. Right? You've then got to justify why it is, but it's always going to be more than they think. So to give one example of a high quality home improvement company I'm currently working with, this is how their guys are doing it. So say, right, if you're looking at that price there, Mr. Jones, Gary, and Amanda, and you're thinking, well, that's a bit steep, Paul. Don't worry, you're not alone. Everybody feels the same when they first see that price. But 3 things I'd say about that. First thing is, let's put it in perspective. First thing is, you're going to do this once, aren't you? You only want to do this once, as you've told me. You don't want to do it twice or three times. That's the price for doing it once and having it last a lifetime. Okay? You only buy once. You get a lifetime of value. It's about what you get for that over time. Yeah. Secondly, that you're going to save 30% on your heating bills with this window system immediately and for life. Okay. So over the next 20 years, you're going to be here. You're going to save, and in their example, it's 12,000 on average on the heating bills they're going to save. You're going to save on average £12,000 on your heating bills over the next 20 years. So bear that in mind. I'll show you how we do that when I show you how the window system works, if you'd like to see that. And then, so you can take that 12,000 off the price that I'm going to leave with you a little later, because you're getting that back. Okay. Third, every penny you invest with X company is going to be reflected in the increased value of your property. This is an investment that's going to increase the value of your property over time. 20 years from now, your property will have increased in value because you've had X windows installed, properly guaranteed, that look beautiful, most secure window on the market, most energy efficient window on the market, that does everything you want, that solves all your problems and achieves all your goals once and for all. Buy once, have it last a lifetime. Okay. The value, we're not the cheapest, we never claim to be, but the value over time always exceeds today's price. The value you're going to get is always bigger in savings on your heated bills, added value to your property, and the fact that you buy once and you never lift a finger again or pay another penny again on your windows and doors. So let that, just put that into perspective. That reflect on that, and we'll give you the very best price later. One price, nothing hidden, everything transparent, and that best price I print off for you later will be locked in for 30 days with absolutely no conditions, and then we can plan next steps. Now, is there anything you'd add or change to that design to make it perfect for you? That's how I'm working with their guys to handle the price anchoring, as I call it. You're re-anchoring a new price in their mind. You're doing it early, giving them time to get used to it, right? And the guys that are using that now are converting at 1 in 2. What a surprise. Okay. Why does this work? Because when you set a new price anchor in somebody's mind, you set a new price anchor, you trigger the grief process. That's what you do. You trigger the grief process: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. That's what you trigger. So you expect responses like denial, anger first. Really? You're joking? That's not the price. You must be joking. You can't be serious. Bargaining. Well, maybe we can't get this done this year. Then maybe we'll have to wait till next year. Depression. They'll withdraw. Finally, acceptance, as opposed to price is the price. And that takes a little while. It can take an hour or so for them to start justifying, especially with the way you just justified. It'll take them time to move from price to value in them. But give them that time. Because if you keep the price hidden and just reveal the price at the end, you'll trigger the grief process at the end, and they won't have long enough to make the journey from price to value in their mind. So they'll put, when you give it to them at the end, they think, wow, that's more than I thought. Whoa. And they'll put the poker face on. Right, okay, leave that with us. We'll think about that and we'll get back to you. They think they'll need time to justify this in their mind, but you leave, they stop. Life takes over. They never make it. They never complete the grief process. They don't make it from price to value. You never hear from them again. You've lost. This is why you price early. Just like every other major purchase in their life, or any purchase, give the price early, just as I've just demonstrated there. And I personalize this with every one of my clients, and we practice this until they've got it perfect. And it helps them convert at 1 in 2. It increases their conversions. It helps them sell more by showing price early. That's number 5, price anchor. Okay, get up to speed, right? Get into the 21st century, guys. Tap into the chat if you intuitively know that that's the right thing to do. Tap in your comments so far. Tap in your comments on that last one. Okay. Scary, but it feels right. Absolutely right. It is. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, good. This is game-changing stuff, Paul. You're absolutely right. Okay. Right. Let's move on to the next one. We're almost halfway there. So we're now into skill number 6. And skill number 6 is what I call transformation before transportation. And that is because at this stage, what most of you would do is get the window out and start demonstrating the window. That's the transportation from where they are to where they want to be. That's the product that gets them from where they are to where they want to be. But before you sell the transportation, complete the journey of transformation, right? Sell the transformation first. We've done it on the iPad. We've done it where we've done the before and after visual, the pain to pleasure discovery, and then the before and after visualization. So we've really set the scene for that. But there's one piece missing, and that's the social proof. What do other people just like you, with the problems you've got, with houses just like you, people who look just like you, who are just like you, who were in your position, who are now the other side and have got what they dreamed of? How did they feel and how do they feel about installing with us? And what's their advice to you? They want to know the answers to all those questions. They want to see it. They want to see that social proof. It's huge to their decision making process. So show them. Show them your short form video, your 1 minute videos, before and after videos of all the other customers that you've got. Where you took a 1 minute video on their phone, short form video, just like everybody consumes. You don't want Hollywood quality film. You want real, believable, actual short form content recorded on a smartphone. And your customers are saying, before I chose X company, I was thinking, who should I buy double glazing from? We weren't sure, weren't sure of who to trust and what to buy. So many people out there making false promises. So anyway, we met John, we met Paul. We were delighted with the approach. It was such a great approach. We were so focused on what we needed. No nonsense, no salesiness, no gimmicks. And we decided to go with them. It was more than we wanted to spend, I have to say. It was more than we wanted to spend. But service was exceptional. The surveyor was fantastic. The installers were amazing. They left the house beautiful. They took care of us. Since then, they've taken care of us. We had a couple of reasons to call. They've sorted us out 100%. They've taken care of us. Blah, 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 blah. They've given us everything we wanted and more. It's the best decision we've ever made. If you're like us and you were a little bit worried about who to buy, those were your concerns, you weren't so sure, you need to speak to Paul and X company. That's our recommendation. See them, make the decision. It's the best thing we've done. That's what they need. They need that. That's your social proof. You need short form videos like that from every customer who buys from you so that you can select a customer that matches the customers in front of you. You can select people that match your buyers and you can sell a transformation to them. And then you need the same with your online reviews. You need the online reviews where you've got pictures of people and their actual names, not faceless reviews with just one paragraph, which is generic and 5 stars. People don't believe it. Have the views from real people with real comments and have DMs, messages, texts, WhatsApp messages where customers have sent you messages. Real life, show them. Show all this social proof. Personalize it from customers that have bought from you that match the people you're in front of, and show them what people that match their social proof with stories like theirs, with homes like theirs. Personalize it, share it with them, get them looking at this stuff, get them watching the videos, and do it until they say, right, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I'm satisfied. Do you have any doubts that tell me if you got any doubts that we're the right company for you? Is there anything you want to see from us that you've not seen? Is there anything that's missing that will give you the confidence you need that we might be the right choice for you? Do you feel that we are? Subject to the price being right, and I know we've got to do some work on that, subject to that, and the value being there for you. Do you feel that we're the right company? That's what you've got to do. That's that step. Now, that's your step 6. That then leaves you to move into your step 7, which is sell the transportation. Now they want to see the product. because they believe, 100% believe you can get them there. Everything you've done now, the before and after, you've completed that transformation, and they believe you can get them there. You've shown them the transformation of other people just like them, social proof. Now you move into your transportation, which is getting them to buy the product. Now, the old ways of doing this in the old day was we'd bring in the window and we'd give everybody a 30-minute demo of the 27 features of the window with maximum passion and maximum enthusiasm. Whether they wanted it or not, they all got the same full dem. That's not going to work today. They need to have everything personalized. Today's buyers need you to personalize the experience so that it means everything to them based on their lives. So you only present the features that solve problems they have. You only present features that create results they want. And reverse it. Don't just bring the window in and start doing feature, benefit, close like we used to. Start in reverse. Start with outcome, then benefit, then feature, then close. For instance, would you like to see how this window system can save you £12,000 on your heating bills over the next 20 years? Outcome first. Yes. Right. The reason it does that is that we have developed a window system that gives you a U value of 0.8, making it the most thermally efficient window on the market. Okay, that's the benefit. Now the features. How do we do that? You get into the features and show them the sealed unit and how all the features come together to create the U value. You show them the visuals on the U value and energy loss through a window. Explain it to them. Make it common sense, plain English. Break it down and then lead that to the outcome they've already got. All of this helps you save the 12 grand you're going to save. That's what you've led with. You finish with the features and then you ask, would you consider installing a window that didn't have this as standard? Would you install anything less in your home? Rather than saying the old style of trial closing, is that what you want? Yes. Is that important to you? Yes. You like that, don't you? Yes. Ask in reverse. Ask for a no. Would you considering installing a window that didn't have a U value of 0.8? Would you consider installing a window that was less energy efficient? No. Putting price to one side, would you consider installing a window that didn't give you a security guarantee? No. Ask for a no instead of a yes, but it's a positive no, right? Smart. This is flipping the script so that you're not using any detectable sales techniques, but you're using smart psychology. Right, at the end of your window demo, instead of saying, right, we get the price right, you're happy to buy this? Again, use the same thing. Anything you'd add to this window system to make it even better for you? No. Is there anything you could take away that you could live without? No. So putting price to one side. So long, I mean, it's important that the value is there and that the value is more than the price or the price is affordable. If we could do all of that, would you hesitate? No. That's how you do it, right? There's your selling transformation, then you sell the transportation. Now they want the product. It's being personalized to them. You've personalized the features that you've shown them to the problems that they need solving. You've personalized the features you've shown them to the outcomes they want to achieve. And you've used trial closers which ask for a no and not a yes, so it doesn't seem salesy to them. They don't detect what's happening. Smart psychology. Okay? Next one, number 8. Number 8 is a recap. You want to do a complete recap of where you've been so far and what you've achieved. To give them a feeling of progress, to give them a feeling of accomplishments, to give them a feeling that you do what you say you're going to do. You deliver on your promises. To let them realize how much you've achieved together. And that gives them the feeling of connection and trust they need. Right, let's just take a review of where we are and what we've achieved so far. Let's just take a review. You go right back to the start. So you got thinking about your windows and doing your windows this year because of this. You invited us out because of this, and this. These are your goals. You told me at the start these were your priorities. This was your process. These were the criteria. This is what was important to you. Yeah. You told me all of that. Okay, we agreed an agenda that we do this. Let's go through step by step. Then we looked at each window and we designed these options to get rid of these problems. You're recapping. Anything I've missed there? No. We did. I'm right with that, aren't I? That we agreed that. Yes, that's right. Okay. And you told me you didn't want to stay as you are because of this issue that needs changing. That's right. Okay. Anything I've missed on that? No. You go around every window, all the designs that were agreed, all the problems that you want to solve. You go recap on all the designs that you've done on the before and after. Recap on all the social proof. Recap on the window, and get them say, yes, no, that's right. Yes, no, that's right. It's an agreement staircase. Not of just yeses, but yes, no, that's right. Yes, no, that's right. It's a conversation. And you're getting them into agreement mode. But they don't feel like it because it's not just yes. It's smart. Smart 21st century psychology. Okay. Power of a recap summary to give them the feeling of progression, the feeling of getting to their goals, the feeling of trust that you're delivering. Super powerful. Okay. That's number 8. Number 9 is right. You're now ready to put your quotation together. Okay. But we're not going to do what we used to do back in the day and write out a super long written proposal. Well, some of us used to do that. Others would have the customers guessing and then would write it on a fag packet. But most people, most professionals back in the day would do a written proposal and would write it all out and then go through it with them. Okay. Today, you want to print it out. You want a proposal where you print out all the windows one by one, before and after visualizations, with all the specification written on each window, with all the prices on each window. Yeah. Everything that's included, all the unique selling points of your products, all the guarantees you offer, all the aftercare you offer, everything that's included. You also want on there is all the problems you're solving that they want solving, all the goals you're helping them achieve, the fact that it's a lifetime investment. They'll do this once, they'll last a lifetime with all the guarantees, the value of that you'll save on the heating bills, the value you'll add to their property. It's all in there. And then a best all-inclusive best price at last, and followed by your price promise. And if you haven't got one, you need one. Okay. And that's all on there with no discounts, just one all-inclusive price. We'll come back to that in a minute, but there's your quotation. You want that printed off, and that needs to be, it's going to be several pages. Whilst you're preparing that and printing it off, you need to keep them engaged. This is where you show them either your company video or more social proof videos from existing customers, or they flick through the presentation of your products, your services, your guarantees, and everything else that you've put into a presentation and summarized it all for them. Okay. Or they look through all the Google reviews and online reviews that you've got, but you keep them engaged. You keep them in buying mode. And you do that and keep them next to you. Whilst you print off the quotation, you keep them engaged and you keep them occupied whilst you're preparing and printing off your quotation. Right? That's the next step. Now we're into number 10, which is present that best price quotation. Okay. So you present it no matter what your price is, you always say only. Especially because this time, but by this time they will have moved from price to value. So they'll know why the price is more than they expected it to be originally. They'll know why the new price anchor is right. Okay. She said, right, to have the windows installed, to solve all these problems, do a big summary, to solve all these problems, you need to go through, right, the quotation, line by line, page by page. I've got the quotation. Have you got the brandy? Laugh. Well, we are sitting down. Okay. Let's go and sit down together. Can we sit at the table together? Is that okay? And you sit with them. Don't just give them a quotation because that gives them the power. You sit down with them and you go through with your pen and the printed quotation, line by line, everything that's included, recapping all the problems that are being solved and looking up. That's what we agreed, didn't we? Yes. Is there anything that's been missed here? No. Anything that needs added? No. Is that right? Yep, that's right. All the problems that have been solved for every window, all the goals, the dream window designs that you've agreed. Is that exactly what we agreed? Yes. Looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, perfect. Great. Do that window by window. All the stuff that's included, removal of, everything that's included in this, removal of existing windows, all site clearance, professional survey, manufacture, installation, blah, 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 blah. You go through everything that's included. 20-year guarantee, after sales service, security guarantee, bum, bum, bum. You kill everything. You're covering it all, putting a value alongside it. You never have to do this again. You do it once, it lasts a lifetime. These are the savings on your heating bills you're going to make. Remember, this is going to add value to your home. It's going to add its full value to your home over time. You do it only once. You take them through everything. And all of that, fully inclusive, done once, lasts a lifetime, and even includes VAT, is only 23,475. That's it. There's the delivery of your quotation. One single price. That's your best price, locked in for 30 days, unconditional. That's perfect. It's exactly what they want. If you've got your price promise on there that you offer as well, which means that you guarantee they can't find the same for cheaper within 7 days, or you'll refund the difference, perfect. Now you can do one or two things. You can have silence, because there's step 10, right? Next thing you've got 11 and 12. Now what you can do is you can have silence, and you can just say, right, okay, only 23,375. Or you can ask a question, if it's silence, and whatever they say will then move now into the next step. But you can ask a question. You can go for a micro decision close, a micro close. Does it make sense to book a survey? Small decision. Makes sense to choose installation dates. Small decision. Whether you go for silence or a small decision, that's how you close. Gentle, not on some false discounts and bollocks that makes no sense, that they don't believe. Truth, honesty, trustworthiness, ethics, right? That's what's going to inspire them to buy. Okay. Now we're moving to 11, which is what used to happen here. This is where we'd want to try and get over objections. We'd want to try and objection handle or overcome objections. We're not going to do any of that. We don't need to. We've agreed at the start, if it's a no, they're going to tell us. They'll have told us it's a no. Now we can come back to that. We can say, right, a little earlier I asked you if you had any problem saying no to me. Because if so, just tell me straight. We can agree to go no further, part as friends, and my door will always remain open to you. Is it a no? No, it's not a no. Great. Okay, let's talk about our options. Options are, one, you do nothing. Stay as you are. Stay as you are. Continue to live with your existing windows, and you can for a bit longer. You could for as long as you wanted to. Okay, so stay as you are is the option some customers will take. Just leave things as they are. Secondly, is shop around, get some other quotes to make sure you can't get better for cheaper. And that's valid. If that's what you want to do, I respect that, and we'll work with you on that front. Third option is you choose us, you get started, book a survey, choose an installation date, we get going. Now let's talk through each of those. First one, doing that, and have an open discussion with them. Have an on the table, open, fearless discussion about what option they're leaning towards, because they haven't got any more than those three options. There isn't a fourth. So you have a discussion and show them that you're not afraid of it, and that you'll work with them depending on what their choice is. And what will often happen here is people will talk themselves into buying. That's what happens. Now, this also might come as people say, well, we just want a bit of time to think about it. Great. Work with this. So that's great. You've got 30 days uh, uh, to give this some thought and make your final decision with this quote with absolutely no conditions, and the quote is locked in for 30 days. And we can talk about how we can talk again and continue speaking if you'd like to. But what I often hear when people hear when people say they want to think about it is often what they mean is they'd like to have a few minutes without me present to have a chat together and check in with each other to see if this is the right move for them. Because if you feel that way, that's great. I'll take my stuff out to the car. I'll take my all the windows and samples and everything all out your way, tidy it all up, and you can have a chat together. And then when I pop back in 5, 10 minutes from now, we can plan next steps, see how you feel. If you got any questions or whatever, will that help you? You can do that, and that gives them again no pressure, but it gives them the time to have a chat together, which a lot of them will need. Now, at this stage, many will have decided to buy. 1 in 4 will have decided to buy, or 1 in 3 will have decided to buy. But some will need more time. And that we need to allow for because that's how people buy these days. They need more time. They might need a few days to think about it. They might need to sleep on it. Just leaving them for a few minutes to the car might not be enough for them. They might need to get their other quotes. Honor it. Stick with them. Stay consistent. We used to say persistence is everything. No, don't be persistent. Be consistent. Stay with them. Stay trustworthy. Stay loyal. Work with them. This is how they buy. They're more considered than ever before. You keep with people and stay trustworthy and stay loyal with them and work with them and keep adding value, they will buy from you. And this is where you get the extras to take you to 1 in 2. So you say, great, no worries. Now, you got up to 30 days. Is that long enough? Yes, it always is. Okay, terrific. Now, this is into your step 12. Now, I'm not going to expect you to randomly chase me. Okay, that's not good service. Poor customer service is unprofessional. I'm busy. I'm seeing customers every day, and I've got a life, so I'm not going to let you just randomly chase me. Equally, I'm not going to randomly chase you. Have you made a decision yet? Have you made a decision yet? That's so unprofessional. What we'll do, let's agree a day now and a time that we'll reconvene, and either I'll put it in my diary now, and I'll pop in. I'll show you my calendar openings, and I'll drop back in when's a good time for you, and we'll meet again, and we'll discuss next steps. Or we can meet on Zoom. We do a video call. Offer that because more people are using it, especially the younger generation. Or we can swap WhatsApp calls and we'll agree to have a WhatsApp call, which we'll do all three of us. If you're in different places or together, doesn't matter. We can all join the call and we can talk about next steps. Which works best for you? Should we book another time in for me to visit, arrange a video call or a WhatsApp call? What's best? Then you arrange what's best for them on the day and the time, and then you honor it. You then email them the full quotation with any further comments to reinforce the value they're getting, and you give them everything they need, and you honor that agreement, and you stay with them throughout the process. That's your 12. Right, that's a walkthrough, guys, today of the 12 skills. I call it the 2112, the 21st century 12 skills that will get you 1 in 2 conversion in 2025. That will take you that will at least ensure your survival because there'll be many companies and home improvements that go next year. You won't be one of them. But it will also take you from survival to thriving. Now, if you want more support, you want more of this, you like what you've seen, you can join my sales club, my Gen X home improvement sales masters sales club on the school app, which means you get free Zoom coaching like this every Sunday. You get day-to-day access to sales training videos and sales courses that I've produced, all on direct sales skills that you need. You get day-to-day access to on-demand resources and tools and Q&A each day. 30 days free. After that, in January 2025, it's only £7 per month, right? So it's nothing. Okay, if you're interested in that, you can drop me a link, or you can go to my to the link on my featured section on LinkedIn, and you can just join that club now for free for 30 days. Okay. And if you want to reach out and talk about working one-on-one with me, you can work one-on-one with me for only £125 per hour. As you go, no contracts, pay as you go. And I'll talk you through how all that works as well. And you can get a free call with me for an hour to talk me through your challenges, and we can put a game plan together for how I can help you in 2025. If you want the recording of today's session, just comment recording and I'll send you the recording direct, or comment on the main event link and I'll send you that direct. Hope you've had some value from tonight. I'll see you next week. Every success. See you soon. Bye for now.